Boom. And okay. Oh, I see.
Yeah, this is the weird thing. Why is a radio studio as cold as a TV studio? We don't have lights on in here. It's not like a... But
Why?
for some reason, this
Why?
is the chilliest room in the entire building.
I have a space heater on set, and I should have brought it here.
Well, I'm sure we could probably... We'll find you some
Mondo?
old KFI sweatshirt or something like that. Gary and Shannon Show, KFI AM 640 Live, everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Marla Tejas is in for Shannon today.
Hello.
Taking some
Day
time
3.
off. So, yeah, day 3. Today's the day, right? Everything feels right?
Yep.
All right. Take it away.
All right. So this hour, we're going to be talking about the town hall recap, right? That's right. I got a thumbs up. Yes. So much to talk about. And we're not just spending one segment. We're spending 2 segments.
Yeah, we'll give it about, I don't know. Anyway, I sat there, I watched it last night. I was super frustrated by the whole thing. And that, for some reason, has been a word that has existed in my vocabulary way too much in the last, I don't know, 6 weeks, 2 months, something like that.
Okay.
Super frustrated by the way... by the way, everything went down last night.
Well, just looking at the comments and reviews of how it was set up, CNN is getting criticized for having it be like the stacks against the moderator.
Right.
With the Trump-friendly crowd.
So it was, the crowd was made up of, at least through what Caitlin Collins, the moderator, had said yesterday at the very beginning, it was made up of Republicans and independents who say they will be voting in the Republican primary in Vermont, right? It was Vermont.
New Hampshire.
Or New Hampshire, thank you, Sam.
New Hampshire. What would you do without me, Gary?
So I probably would have screwed up again. So this was right out of the gate. They were cordial enough, the handshake and all of that stuff, and right out of the gate, they discuss the 2020 election.
Mr. President, back to what you just said there, though, it was not a rigged election. It was not a stolen election. You and your supporters lost more than 60 court cases on the election. It's been nearly 2.5 years. Can you publicly acknowledge that you did lose the 2020 election?
Let me just go on. If you look at True the Vote, they found millions of votes on camera, on government cameras, where they were stuffing ballot boxes. So with all of that, I think it's a shame that what happened. I think it's a very sad thing for our country. I think it's a very sad thing, frankly, for the world, because if you look at what's gone to our country has gone to hell. Our borders are bad.
He goes on from there. But this is one of those things that I had a hard time with. Caitlin Collins, in her job as moderator, we knew she was going to have to push back against some of these claims, whatever they were, whether it was elections or his own record or crime, whatever.
No matter who she's talking to.
Right.
Or hosting.
But her only pushback in many of these instances was, that's not true. Now, if she then, follows that up with some amount of the investigations have been done. I mean, she mentioned there are the 60 court cases that went nowhere. But it seemed like there wasn't a lot of information on her behalf in terms of pushing back against the falsehoods that he was stating. Now, my problem with that, it's a double-edged sword there, or I should say she's in not a great position, because if she comes out and starts spouting off fact after fact after fact, it becomes a debate, and that's not what that was supposed to be.
No, but it really, do you really think that it was a genuine town hall? It's hard to pull these off because there were maybe 8 questions asked from the audience?
Right.
And, all along she kept saying, we have a lot of questions to get to. Well, it lasted for, I think it was about 70 minutes, 5 to 6:10. And 8 questions, that's not necessarily a lot. And again, the independent, the unaffiliated voters who voted for him in 2020.
Well, and the only question that I heard that was challenging in any way was the very first question, which was basically, and this is...
Would you stop?
Would you stop with the polarizing talk about the 2020 election? And it was after 4 or 5 minutes of them talking about the 2020 election and not doing anything to look forward.
Scott, what's your question for the president?
Hi, President Trump. Welcome back to New Hampshire.
Thank you.
Will you suspend polarizing talk of election fraud during your run for president?
will I suspend, excuse me, what?
Will you suspend polarizing talk of election fraud during your run for president?
Yeah, unless I see election fraud. If I see election fraud, I think I have an obligation to say it. And you know what we went through a short while ago has really put our country in a big problem.
Anyway, he's not going to stop. That was a question from a prospective voter. He's not going to stop talking, but he's going to relitigate the 2020 election. And Byron Donalds, a congressman out of Florida, was on CNN afterwards. I forgot to pull this cut, but he was saying, as much as President Trump was talking about it and Caitlin Collins brought it up originally, this is not what people are arguing. This is not what we're worried about right now. Listen, everybody's made their own decisions about the 2020 election. And I don't know anybody who's thinking to themselves, my vote in 2024 is my reaction to what happened 4 years ago. I don't know anybody who thinks that.
Well, so I'm in the newsroom last night watching this, and this was my assignment before going on the air at 6 o'clock to watch this, because I was going to be doing the recap for the Fox 11 News at 10 o'clock, which I did last night. So I'm thinking, what is that first topic going to be? And from my mind as a news person and also as a former producer, I mean, you think like a producer, I want to know what's impacting Americans right now.
Today.
So was her first question going to be about the looming debt crisis and potential default? Would that be it? May not be as sexy, but hey, it's now. Or will it be a reaction to the civil case, the verdict that just came down?
Or Title 42.
Or Title 42. And then from there, go to, okay, moving forward to 2024, if you are the Republican nominee, will you accept those election results? And then if you want to ask about 2020, at that point, that's how I would stack that.
If I were a producer working with Caitlin, I would have said, hey, listen, we know he's going to go there. The gravitational pull for him to talk about 2020 is too strong. Let's not let him start there, because if that's the case, he controls the whole thing. Mm-hmm. Now, it was, I think, an absolute success for CNN. They got exactly what they wanted. They got a Trump who was pushy at times, who was, dropped a couple of laugh lines to appeal to the people in the audience that were clearly his fans.
Some soundbite answers. Drill, baby, drill.
Drill, baby, drill was one of them. The clown, Nancy Pelosi, or crazy Nancy, all of that stuff. So we'll continue here in just a moment. A couple more sound bites to play from last night, and then we'll move on. I promise. Gary and Shannon will continue. Marlo's in for Shannon, I promise. Marlo's in today.
Mondo brought me a blanket.
Oh, by the way, that blanket came off the llama. So I don't know if he washed it or not, but I hope you're not allergic to llama.
That's where I'd seen it. So I'm walking down the hall and I'm like, what is that?
Jennifer Jones-Ling is live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
General Motors is rolling out a new division that caters to business and government fleet customers. The business unit, called GM Involved, is meant to streamline operations and bring in additional revenue. Americans seeing real estate as the best long-term investment, that may be a view of the past. There's a new Gallup poll that shows views of the market as the best long-term investment option are declining. And officials at NASA's Stennis Space Center in Mississippi say one of the test engines that will propel the Artemis 5 rocket to the moon was a success. SoCal weather from KFI. It's a gray start to the day, more sunshine later, a little bit warmer with highs in the low to mid 70s. This report is brought to you by personal injury firm Owen Patterson and Owen. Let's get a look at your drive with the KFI in the sky and update the 110.
That's as promised after leaving Pasadena. South 110, it's just going to be real slow from around the I-5. There was an earlier problem there on one of the transitions, but that's gone. And it stays slowed out to about Stadium Way. And the earlier problem there gone as well. Now, south of the 4 level, where it changes names, it becomes the Harbor Freeway, but it's a great drive. Boy, take advantage of it. From the 4 level all the way down to 105. No problems at all. To the San Fernando Valley now, south of the 101 around Reseda, we got word of a motorcyclist going eastbound and westbound lanes. I hope that's over and done with, hopefully. Again, just be heads up if you're driving west on the 101. South 405 itself, boy, it's been a tough one all morning long. Still is. Sherman Way to about halfway uphill. Then things will start moving. And again, we just got word of another problem. We've got a big gravel spill, so close to clean up probably. Westbound Ventura to the northbound 405. Travel in all lanes. Be careful approaching. KFI in the sky helps get you there faster. I'm Jeff Baugh.
Binge listen this and all your artist stations, plus any song from our library of millions of songs, all ad-free. Get your free 30-day trial of iHeartRadio All Access. You'll love it. Don't be basic, be extra. Start your free 30-day trial of iHeartRadio All Access now.
Hello, beautiful. I'm Amy Earp, founder of Madison Reed, a hair color company I named after my daughter. I started Madison Reed to give you the most gorgeous hair color made with ingredients you can feel good about. Are you tired of drugstore hair color? You deserve better. Spring is here and the forecast calls for your best hair color ever. Upgrade to salon quality hair color that nourishes and improves the condition of your hair without any harsh odors. It's easily done at home and we deliver it to your door. Plus, our hair color matching technology makes picking the right color easy, fast, and accurate. For a limited time, new clients get 15% off plus free shipping on your first online order. Visit madison-reed.com/promo. Take our online color quiz to find your perfect shade. That's madison-reed.com/promo. Try it, love it. That's the beauty of Madison Reed.
This week at Safeway, get boneless, skinless chicken breast, $1.49 per pound, member price. Plus, mix and match strawberries, 1 pound, blueberries, red raspberries, or blackberries, 6 ounces. Buy 2, get 2 free, equal or lesser value, member price. Also, mix and match Coca-Cola 12-pack, 12-ounce cans, or 8-pack, 12-ounce bottles. Dasani water, 24-pack, or AHA sparkling water, 8-pack. Selected varieties, buy 2, get 2 free, equal or lesser value, member price. Visit Safeway.com. Download the Safeway Deals and Delivery app, or head into your local Safeway for more great deals.
Do you have at least $50,000 saved for retirement? Good news! You could be eligible for a free Ronald Reagan half-ounce silver coin. That's right. All qualified iHeart listeners who call Gold Code, #1 rated precious metals company this week, will get a free Ronald Reagan half-ounce silver coin. All you have to do is call 855-909. It works free while supplies last. Gold Co. has helped thousands of people just like you place over $1 billion in gold and silver to help protect and diversify their savings. We're also offering up to $10,000 in free silver when you open a qualified gold IRA account. With everything going on in the economy, inflation, war, and the threat of recession, you can't afford to do nothing. Call Gold Co. today to see if diversifying your money with gold and silver is right for you. Call Gold Co. today and see if diversifying your money with gold silver is right for you, and get your free Ronald Reagan half-ounce silver coin. Call 855-909-COIN. That's 855-909-COIN.
We can all agree that there is no place in our lives for litter. So let's come together and create a litter-free California. Join us at cleanca.com. Let's do it together. Brought to you by Caltrans.
Are you or someone you know living with Alzheimer's disease? Consider participating in Atheris Pharma clinical trial exploring a novel repair and regenerative approach to Alzheimer's disease. Atheris Pharma is a late-stage clinical study of an investigational drug for the treatment of mild to moderate Alzheimer's disease. Contact Sunwise Clinical Research at 925-298-5147 or info@sunclin.com today. Contact Sunwise Clinical Research at 925-298-5147 or info@sunclin.com today.
Presentamos cuentas claras inspiradas por AT&T Fiber.
Amor, ¿y ese pantalón nuevo? Tu regalo de aniversario. ¡Tadán!
Pero yo veo mis novelas en mi tablet.
Ok, como somos giguillonarios, seré claro contigo. Es un regalo de mí para ver fútbol.
Yo también seré clara. Ni me acordaba que era nuestro aniversario. Las cuentas claras son mejores. Sin cargos por equipo, sin límite de datos, sin aumento de precio a los 12 meses. Vive como giguillonario. Disponibilidad limitada en ciertas áreas. Visita att.com/más gigas.
You find yourself asking questions about technology? Rich DeMuro here. Join me for Rich on Tech. Saturdays at 11. What is the latest and greatest, or even not so great? Anything from home electronics to your mobile phone.
Rich on Tech with Rich DeMuro. Saturday morning at 11 on KFI and on demand anytime on the iHeartRadio app.
We'll pick it up. There will be some positive stuff. In the top of the hour, we'll talk about the Writers Guild strike. Now, that's not positive, but people turn it turned into a positive, right?
Yes, thank you. So, for our listeners, I work at Fox 11, and I'm so proud of our reporters. We had a wonderful report last night from our Christy Fajardo, who was out there talking about strikers who are looking for love, not online, but on the picket line. So there was a matchmaking mingle for those strikers yesterday.
It's a cheap date if you're not working.
I thought the same thing. But that's a great little story.
Also, a little bit later in the show, Mark Saltzman's going to join us with some tech talk stuff. I found an interesting article about YouTube and the NFL. Of course, YouTube is going to pick up NFL's Red Zone this summer, NFL ticket, later this summer next year.
So much to keep track of.
They're looking at ways to increase. It's great when somebody else picks up an old, worn out system like the NFL Network in terms of how are they going to innovate? What are they going to do to bring advertising dollars in, especially in an industry like ours where those advertising dollars have been spread so far and wide that it's hard to, make as much money now as you did 15, 20 years ago.
Right, because there's so many options, so many services.
All right, so we've been talking about last night's CNN town hall with former President Trump. They got what they wanted in terms of ratings. The setup people have been criticizing the setup. Should they have done only...
Watch out, vehicle on shoulder ahead.
Independent voters? Should they have done Democrats? Should they have involved a more wide-ranging audience? Should there have been an audience? All of that stuff.
Did the official ratings come out?
I don't think so, but
Okay.
I can only imagine.
I've been looking for that because on average, I pulled this up here. Well, this was January, so where are we at? May? A little dated, but nonetheless, prime time CNN can average about 629,000 viewers. So I'm curious to see how they did last night.
Yeah. A couple things that happened. They talked about all of the big issues you can imagine. They did talk about Title 42. They did talk about the 2020 elections. They did talk about
The war in
accepting the
Ukraine.
results. They talked about the war in Ukraine, and his plan was, listen, I don't think of it in terms of winning or losing. I just want peace in terms of negotiating a deal.
Right. So she asked him on, will you say that you want Ukraine to win the war? Who do you want to win? And he said, I want people to stop dying.
Yeah. Listen, I don't think anybody
disputes that.
But then that leaves enough room for people to suggest, that means that he would be willing to chop up Ukraine in order to appease Vladimir Putin, and then he's Vladimir Putin's puppet.
Well, then he makes the point that when it comes to negotiations, if I'm going to bring this to an end, which he said he would bring the war to an end in 24 hours if he was president, that doesn't bode well if he's going to say that he wants Ukraine to win, if he has to negotiate and make a deal in the name of diplomacy with Putin.
The other issue, and you mentioned this earlier in terms of timeliness, the day before this town hall, of course, came the decision in the civil suit brought by E. Jean Carroll, and they gave him an opportunity to sort of give what would have been his defense had he taken the stand, although there's no plaintiff's attorney here to stop him or to direct the questioning. There's no judge to step in, etc. So he just gets to say things.
I have no idea who she is. I had a picture taken years ago with her and her husband, nice guy, John Johnson. He was a newscaster, very nice man. She called him an ape. Happens to be African American. Called him an ape. The judge wouldn't allow us to put that in. Her dog, or her cat, was named Vagina.
Again, I'm not sure where that comes in terms of his defense of whether or not he sexually abused the woman, but that's the kind of stuff that he does. I mean, he's a distractor in general in terms of doing these things and saying these things so to take away from the original discussion, which is this jury found you liable for sexual assault and defamation. You're on the hook now for $5 million and change. So
he also said he didn't regret not testifying. Caitlin Collins asked him about that. He said it wouldn't have made a difference. He did go on to then
Watch out, construction on